Hey everyone, welcome back to day 3 of this week's Universal Block Focus, which is your subconscious mental blocks. So ADHD is not a subconscious mental block. ADHD burnout is one of the subconscious mental blocks. So I don't want you to think that I'm saying that ADHD is a block, because that's simply how your brain works. And so you should not see that as a handicap or a block, because I definitely don't. So, with ADHD management, with hypnotherapy, I wanted to just kind of go over the burnout cycle, but how it's specific to ADHD. Hey, Natalia, thank you. How it's specific to ADHD and how you burn out. So, I'm going to bring up this graphic that's really useful. And it's also posted on my feed, but I think a lot of people resonated with this because, you're running your business, and I noticed that a lot of entrepreneurs that do come to me with ADHD, they come to me and they're in these feelings of guilt and shame, or because they're thinking that their ADHD is what's impacting them from hitting their next level. And it's really the cycle of trying to run your business neurotypically that's keeping you from hitting your next level of success. Your ADHD is not a problem. It's only a problem when it doesn't fit a certain method or mold. So this is your challenge. Your challenge when creating your business, you really need to create a business that aligns with your lifestyle and the way that your brain works. Because the traditional methods of doing business aren't ideal for neurodivergent individuals. So it's like just superficial networking, having random opportunities for people to distract you, to reach out to you, having to live in your DMs or your inbox. Like, you'll hyper fixate on all those emails, and then you won't get any work done because you're too busy answering emails, or you're too busy. And if someone reaches out to you with a question in a DM, you're going to send them a PowerPoint presentation. So, it's just beneficial for you to start to create these systems and create these protections for you so you don't burn out. So because of burnout and the combination of executive dysfunction, you don't feel like creating that post for Instagram. You don't feel like going live. You don't feel like promoting or, creating the slides for your course. You don't feel like doing these things. And because of that, you then have experienced these feelings of shame and guilt, right? And then you go into the anxiety that you'll repeat this pattern again. And then you'll go into stress while working and running your business, because of you're thinking of the feelings of shame and guilt, and then the anxiety. And then after you're experiencing this stress, after long-term stress, this is going to lead to depression in your business. And then what does depression do? It makes your executive dysfunction even worse. So it's just this cycle that you need to break. And you break that first by not seeing ADHD as an obstacle to a successful business, and to start to look at where your strengths lie and where your weaknesses lie, and understand that you're not going to run a business like a neurotypical person. You're not going to do 11 things during the day. You're going to focus on, at the most, 3, and that's okay. You may not be on all the social media platforms. You may be focused on one, but you do that well. Or you do want to be on all the social media platforms because that's how you get your dopamine fix, and that's okay. You may be someone that doesn't like to create content. You like to write emails, or you just like to do the work. That's okay. You may be someone that really gets their dopamine from creating a lot of content daily, and you don't feel like scheduling out for the rest of the year, and that's okay. So it's really managing ADHD management in business is really the art of allowing yourself to run a business that aligns with the way that your brain works. So the first thing that you do consciously is make a list of everything that you do in your business. This live will be available on the YouTube channel for replay tomorrow, so you can watch it. And the other lives from this week are available now, so you can rewatch those as well. So you write down everything that you do daily. Oh, I'm so glad, Natalia. Let me know if you have any questions too. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna write down every single thing that you do that comes to mind. What do you do daily? What do you do weekly? What do you do monthly? And then you write down the dopamine score, right? So it's not that, like, sure, I can hire someone to do a lot of my content creation, but I love creating my content. I love it. That's what makes me feel connected energetically to my business. So I'm going to hold on to the content creation, right? And so I'll put the dopamine score from 1 to 10 for content creation for Instagram is a 10. So I'm going to hold on to that task. But answering DMs on my platforms or answering emails, that's going to be a 3 or 2. Actually, a -7. So that is something that I'm going to need to hire out for or find a workaround for, because you don't always have to hire people, but you can set boundaries and just put something in your caption on Instagram: no DMs, please email. That's a workaround. Or you can hire someone to take care of DMs and emails. So either you do a workaround or you hire someone, you outsource it, right? So then you go through your list and you give each thing a dopamine score. So what really gives you that boost in your business? And so then what happens is you filter out the list of things that lower your dopamine levels, that drain you, and then you keep the things that give you that boost of dopamine. So, and then you divide your days, all right? So after you have the list of things, you're going to start to batch your days. So you'll have a day for content creation, a day for sessions. So this is what I do: a day for sessions, a day for interviews, podcast interviews, or joint ventures, anything like that. So this way, mentally, you're able to get prepared and rev up for these days. And then what happens is it trains your brain to basically anchor Tuesdays, I'm in content creation mode. Wednesdays, I'm in client session mode. Thursdays, I'm more social, so I can have these collaborations and podcast interviews. So this is working for you. So you're maintaining your levels of dopamine, and then you're also training your brain to anchor in days of the week and times of the day. So then it's like the system, your subconscious kicks in to help you run your business with ADHD. So it's like you have this unconscious link to Tuesdays. So all of a sudden you'll start feeling this need, that feeling, that need to create is going to be in alignment. And you're creating something that you do. So your dopamine levels are high. So then you get it done. Then Wednesdays, client sessions. You know that this client, you have 3 clients at this time. And you've already linked your emotions, your unconscious to this day. So emotionally, you're ready to see clients. And then you love seeing clients, so your dopamine levels are high. So then you go into the session and you kill it. Then Thursdays, you have your podcast interviews, joint ventures, whatever, answering questions, whatever you have to do, or admin work. So this is what you are prepared for. So your dopamine levels may not be that high, but you're mentally prepared. So you're overriding the executive dysfunction. And when you override the executive dysfunction, you override the feelings of guilt. You break this cycle because you created this system that works with your mind. You'll see posts like, you need to answer every DM or you're bougie. Well, then I am bougie. I am a bougie person then, and you're fine with that. You need to be on every social media platform, but you only like Instagram, and that's fine. So you stick with Instagram. So having ADHD kind of puts you in the gives you a benefit because you really tune out all the noise. You tune out all the noise because most of it is neurotypical advice. So you really are able to hone in on what works for you and what will work for you in your business. Because if it works for you, if it feels good and you're always energetically aligned, it's going to work for your business. If it works for you, it will work for your business. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, you being unhappy in your business is what's tanking it. So even with my first 2 businesses, right, I was making 6 figures, but those businesses should have been at 7 figures. So I was making 6 figures, even though I was sad and burnt out, but that was the lower end. I should have been making 7 figures in that business, honestly, because of the industry. But because I was so emotionally uninvested, I only made the 6 figures. So it's like looking at your business model. Does it really align with your mind and the way that you work? And if it doesn't, what can you start to do, or who can you hire to make it align with your mind? You need to shift the perspective on trying to, as adults now that we're adults, and now that we have more control over our lives, we no longer have to fit ourselves into this mold. Now we can mold the world to fit and align with us, right? And so depending on the type of ADHD that you have, I definitely recommend, going to get a diagnosis, understanding the types, and then, looking at the list of symptoms and trying to identify which ones you really have. And some of the symptoms don't really impact you in business, and some do. So you need to then, kind of see which ones do and which don't. This is what I do with my clients. And so once you do that, that is when you can start to customize your business. See this as a challenge. We like challenges, right? We like challenges. Our brains love challenges. So see this as a challenge to start to customize bespoke business model for you. And then when you have this, and then what happens is it's very hard for people to copy you or replicate the energy within your business or replicate your business model, and if they do try to replicate it, they're going to fail miserably, right? They're going to fail miserably because you customize your business to your mind. They can try to replicate your content, they can try to replicate these things, but They can't replicate really you, this magic that you created within your business. So I'll have people that will try to copy my content or try to start talking about certain things. But here's the thing. Most of my business revenue comes from referrals, from from client referrals. So they could copy my content. They could go get some long twists and glasses and all of a sudden say they're Nigerian. They could do all of that. But they will never be able to replicate my client's success doing that, because the way that I run my business helps me get my clients the transformation that they need. Because I run my business in alignment with the way that my mind works, I'm able to show up 111% during sessions, right? I'm able to think of ways that work, not only for my, and because I'm so used to customizing my business to my mind, I help my clients do the same. So they don't leave sessions and they don't leave working with me with just, a 5-step method. They leave with a blueprint that works for them, that no one else can give them. And so and you can do the same thing in your business. By creating a business that works with your mind, you create a very unique business model and a very unique business that provides very unique results. And people will always come back to you, and they won't even think about referring them to a competitor or anyone else, because they're like, no, you have to see her. They're like, oh, but there's another hypnotherapist that charges no, you have to see her because she did this and got me this. Or you have to see him, you have to see them because they were able to do this. So there could be other coaches, there could be other consultants, there could be other shops, but it's like, no, you have to go see them because they were able to give me this specific thing. And that is how you'll start to see the momentum build in your business. And it simply starts with you allowing yourself to run a business that aligns with your mind. Sorry, my alarm went off. But and so that's really it. And so this way you're able to break this cycle of burnout. And then what happens is not only do you protect yourself from ADHD burnout, but you protect yourself from business burnout, emotional burnout, physical burnout, spiritual burnout, because you are living in flow and running your business in flow. That dopamine flow. So, did anyone have any questions? That is just it for today's training. But just to recap, the first thing that you're going to do is make a list of everything that you do in your business, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, right? You can organize it by day if you batch it currently now. And then give each item, do this in Excel or write it down on a pad and paper. Give each thing a dopamine score from 1 to 10. Filter out the ones that are less than 6 to either work around, automate, or hire or outsource, right? And then for the rest of the list, organize them by batch them. Like if you're doing content creation, marketing, admin work, business, actual sessions, client work, all of that, organize them, batch these things by day. So then what happens is you're going to be spending your days doing things that don't drain you. Yes, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, so the things that you do each day, and then give them a dopamine score, and then filter out the ones that score less than 6. You score them 1 to 10. So everything, and then batch by day. Yes, exactly. And so then at the end you'll have this schedule, right? A schedule of things that you love to do every day. And then it's categorized, and then it'll help you focus, because you're going to be like, okay, it's content creation day. Or then you'll focus and say, oh, it's it's client work day, or no, it's admin work day. And then, or it's meetings day. So this is when you'll schedule any meetings for that day. So when you batch your days for things that have high levels of dopamine for you, and then you have the other things outsourced, automated, or workarounds, your business is still functioning and running, right? So you don't have that fear or guilt or shame because your business is running. The customer service is being handled, DMs are being answered, people are receiving the things that they purchased, contractors are being paid or answered, content is being created, everything is running in your business. So once you do that, once you organize everything according to the dopamine score and batch your days, hire the people, outsource or automate, you'll start to see that you really actually love running your business. And people will sense that. I think people know that I have a good time in running my practice. That I, like, no one will be like, Julia hates her business. They're like, that girl is having the time of her life. Like, she is having a good time over there in New York. She's having a good time in Brooklyn with her flowers and her crystals. So it's like, it's going to be to a point where you just make it look so easy. People are like, I actually want to start practice. Like, hold on. Let me tell you actually what I did to get here. You make it look so easy. You make it look so fun. You make it look so seamless. Yes, that Leo energy. And so this is how you avoid burnout. And this is how you maintain momentum. And motivation is not a real thing. You won't have to worry about motivation. You won't feel guilt when you want to rest because you've been doing so much, you know? You won't feel guilt if you don't want to rest because you love what you're doing. So the guilt will get out the guilt. The guilt will get out. And so that's really it. Did anyone have any questions in terms of this ADHD, running your business? If you've recently been diagnosed, I'm happy to answer them. The sirens, the New York City sirens for ambiance here. Yes, the guilt. Yes, human design is also good. If you could check, you should definitely check out what your human design is. If you Google human design, there'll be websites where you can put in your information and see what your human design is. That gives you a lot of insight. Also, your enneagram gives you some insight, and your life path number also gives you some insight in addition to everything. And so knowing more about yourself really helps you understand how to create a business that aligns with self. Because your business should not, it's just an extension of you, really, but it's not the center of you. And so it should work for you and support the life that you want to live, not the other way around. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today and this week. I'll be back next week. Next week, we'll be diving into emotions. Just realizing. So there is, so if you Google ADHD testing, a lot of sites will pop up. Mayo Clinic has a testing site and all of this, so you'll understand, and it'll give you some other resources so you can understand the type that you have, and then you could take these results to your doctor and they'll confirm it for you as well. Making the connection between ADHD and dopamine has been profound. Yes. It's a game changer. You're like, because it's like you logically, and you have the planner, you have the Post-its, you have all these things, but you don't want to do it. Physically, it's just like, it actually kind of hurts when you don't want to do something because of you don't have the dopamine. So physically hurts. You're like, oh, I can't do it. And everyone's like, you're being dramatic. Why are you such a Leo? And you're like, wait, no, I really physically can't do this. I physically cannot do this, and it hurts. So, understanding what managing your dopamine levels will save you so much time and stress. And also, a random side effect, I lost a lot of weight too managing my dopamine, because when you don't manage your dopamine and you're stressing out, it increases your cortisol levels, which affects your stomach area, stomach fat. So all of a sudden, just allowing and running my business the way I want also has brought back my abs. So that's another bonus, in case you needed some motivation. So you'll get to make money, run a business that doesn't hurt you physically or emotionally, and you'll get your abs back. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. The replay, if you're just joining, will be available tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Just search Juliet C. And the replays for Tuesday and Wednesday are already up there too, if you want to see what the other universal blocks are, and burnout in general. Yeah, definitely check that out. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Such a great group today. All right, bye.